Welcome to 50 Plus Home and Gardening. Today we're going to work on a beautiful garden that is growing and thriving. June, July, and August is not the time we want to see plants just fall apart or need a lot of maintenance, or our backs have to work a lot to keep it. So I want to show you some beautiful things that I think are gonna work. I have a lot of rain in my area, and these plants work beautifully. So let's get right to this garden and kind of take a look at some of the plants that I have. So many beautiful things in the garden right now. Look at this. Okay, the yellow hot pokers are so pretty. Oh my goodness. I have a lot of yellow in the garden, and so I'm not going to need to add anything more. These are really bright. Aren't those pretty? And more to come. Look at all the babies in there. Oh my goodness. So maybe another flush of them. And they look really, really pretty with these lamb's ear. But today we are going to concentrate on this bed. Look at all the new daylilies. Now all these daylilies were divides from over there, and even these have been divided. So this is a really nice little trail of yellow. Look at all those daylilies. Stella d'Oro, very, very pretty, very common yellow flower, but they really look good with these yellow hot pokers. A really good contrast of yellow on both sides. I didn't want to put the pokers over here because it's a lot more shade over here. And the daylilies, they seem to be able to handle it. I wasn't sure, so I may now put them all the way up this garden, so you have a big drift of yellow during their time. And also, this lily is a yellow lily, and it also will be bright and happy, just like these. They're so pretty. All these hostas are new in this area. They were over here, and I planted them all around here. Okay, so these right here are from the church, so I don't really know their variety type. Very small, very cute. And then I have this one right here, which I really like. And it's just a kind of a plain old green, and it is called August Moon. Just pretty, nice, limey, very, very, very beautiful. These are all the ones that I got from the church. There's another one that is the August Moon, and then this one has a bit of green around the outside. This one is called Rainforest Sunrise. I really like that one. It's another hosta, but I like the variegated green leaves around there. Look really close. Isn't that pretty? That's going to get 12 by 12. It looks like it may be 10 inches now, so just a little bit bigger. These, the August Moon, it's going to get 30 by 30, so quite sizable when it does get its biggest. And then look at this grand guy. This one is called Halcyon. Very interesting name, but very blue, and it is going to get 24 by 36. Quite fat, quite large. I put it in the back for that reason, so it can get as big as you want. Now, you have to water in order to get big hostas. It's not going to be any problem here in the south of, this is in Virginia. So I'm looking forward to that in the corner, and it'll cover this whole area. So you can see that I'm not going to need anything in here. And all these hostas will make a big dent in this area, and I won't even have to see the ground. That bag there is a struggling hydrangea that I got from my friend Nancy. I'm not sure what is going on. I've given it fertilizer and everything, and every year it kind of does this. So I don't know, maybe it's against the house. It doesn't like that. I'll see. It's very interesting. Anyways, if it doesn't do well, I may take out another plant and stick it there. So we'll just leave that there for now. I adore this fence. When I come out of my shed, this is what I get to look at. And since the laribe get eaten by some animal, I don't know if it's bunnies or whatever, I've put them up here in my pots, and I really think it's cute. And as they get larger, they'll fill this pot up. So I think I'm going to really like that. And here's another, this is sort of a burgundy false peach tree. You don't get any fruit from it, but it's just fun to just have in this pot a little bit of burgundy color, as well as, I love those. These are the Coral Bells Heuchera, and that is from Monrovia. And if you remember, in one of my videos, I took all 3 of these and I just cut them in half, and now I have another set right up there. So there are 3 sets up there, and look at how big they got after we cut them. And then I also cut them back to like a knuckle, very, very small, and they're doing really well. And they are just now putting on, if you see, just barely. They have these little flower stems that come up, and I really like those. Those are really pretty, and I think they're going to be sort of a white pink. And this is the Violet Riot from Proven Winners. Really, really nice. I like the color of purple in this garden. All right, this is the Opening Act Phlox Ultra Pink from Proven Winners. And this one right here is Pinkadot from Proven Winners. And as you can see, we got a good rain, so they are looking sad, but they'll perk up and look really good. But they're very, very bright and happy in the garden. And I'll put down a picture of how they looked when they were a little happier. And the Violet Riots, now, because of all the rain we have, they do kind of split up. I should have staked these up as well as I did stake these. And I can cut these back and you'll have another flush of all the Violet Riot. So I have 3 sets of those. I have a little bit of lamb's ear in between, some emerald greens that are looking fabulous, and I have a lily that is super tall. I think I'm going to put that up in my Waynesburg garden, I think on the other side of the fence, because these are just so tall, and I don't really want it next to this emerald green, because the emerald green, when it gets big, it'll be probably maybe 3.5 feet wide, and I don't really want that near it, as well as this one. So I'll be taking this one out also, because it is just super, super, super tall. Now here was an extra daylily that I stuck down at this end, and so I do think that I'm going to like that daylily going all the way down. Look at that. So I didn't know if I was going to like it, so I just put a few here, and I didn't know if it was going to bloom, being that this is in the shade on the east side of the house most of the day. This has my trusted irises that I divided. I divided them everywhere, all over the place. And so some of them bloomed this year, some of them did not get a chance to bloom, but they'll be a sure crop for next year, and they will fill up this whole area. Every year I have to, about every other year I divide them and put them elsewhere. And sometimes if you get too many and nobody wants them, you're going to end up tossing them after a while. But for right now, I've got plenty of areas for them. All right, this is my Proven Winners Supertunia Mini Vista Yellow. It grows 6 to 12 inches. I really have not tried this one, so we are going to see if it fills this area and if it likes the amount of rain we get. We get an extensive amount of rain. And the pimpernel is just dying back. More pimpernel. Those are the daffodils, and they're just going to die back. And then this is the Bubblegum Supertunia Vista, very, very popular. So this should fill up this whole area and give it some color. But because it's in the shade, it's not going to be nearly as aggressive as it would be. So another emerald green, and I have a Berkman Gold here. Let me see. I think that it's a little fatter, so I think it's going to get 12 by 8. So that's a good looking plant. I really like that. The Echinacea Powwow Wildberry is looking really, really pretty. I really like that. Here's your first bloom, but you can see lots of buds on there. All right, this one's called Sunseeker, and it is bright yellow. So I'm going to have a lot more yellow. Oh my goodness. So I just kind of look around. Something died here. That was probably my creeping phlox. Didn't work out. And that's fine. Just, you kind of have to move on. Here's a creeping phlox that did work out. And then you have this one. That's called soft orange echinacea or coneflower. Really pretty. And I think I lost the red one. I think it was ombre. It was nice bright red. I think I lost it. But lots of buds. I may have to tie up this guy and see what's underneath there. That echinacea may be buried under him. Coming down here, we have the Green Mountain Boxwood. Really, really nice. I've shaped it into a more upright oval because it tends to want to grow high more than fat. So I'm just letting it do its thing. I think it said something like 3 by 4. So I'm just cutting it so it kind of has an angle. And then this big tree was a bush that I cut up to be a tree. I'd rather have the shade. And I just kind of skinned up, saved about 5 of these trunks and made it a tree. And now I got to put all the hostas underneath, which I really like. And then my red bud. All right, this one is called Pom Pom Red Bud. And this one got really tall, so I'm gonna like this. Nice shade over here. And I didn't like the Eskimo Sunset, which I'll show you, is right there. I didn't like that over there. I'm not even sure if I like the color. It has sort of a rusty color in the spring. So I don't know, I think I may move it right here and see if it'll just kind of trail up by this tree. Maybe it needs the shade of this other tree. I don't know. It's just kind of struggling over here, even though this has quite a bit of shade for it. I didn't know anything about it. Bought it. You got to try things once in a while. Kind of expensive. Japanese maples are on the high-end side of gardening, but once in a while you got to try Japanese maple. They're just really pretty. If you get a successful one, it's really, really nice to have in the garden. Okay, that's all that's in this. I'm pretty happy with most things. I think I'm going to move this one all the way up, and the hostas are in a good position. I only just moved them last fall, and I think I like everything. So a pretty good looking bed. I'm actually thinking I'm going to be very excited to put these daylilies all the way up. I think that's going to really be pretty, and I can probably not have to have all the annuals because of it. It's very relaxing and very pretty. I think all 3 gardens are really, really fun and lovely to look at. So keep moving, keep gardening, and stay creative. And I'll see you next time.